Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hi. I see Doina Reita. Hi.
Yes. Hi.
And
Hello.
hello. Welcome. Where are you? Where are you?
Hi. I'm
Hi.
I'm from Romania.
Romania. Welcome.
Uh,
Welcome. Thank you
yeah,
so much.
it's 5 p.m. here also.
Wow. Okay. It's the same time like Kenya. It's the same time like Kenyan time. Okay. And who else is here? Let me check. As we wait for Alan. Who is there? Who is there? You can see Anna. Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hi,
Hi.
Anna from Calgary, Alberta, Canada here. It's
Canada.
about 8.
So that we, okay. So from now on, we are going, this is being recorded so that we can have a clear reference. Many people wanted to attend this meeting, but they're engaged in one way, and I gave them an impromptu messages, and it was not very much organized, but I think the content in this meeting and the interest that we have, all of us, makes it very important. Makes it very important for all of us. So we are going to start straight away, and Alan will start with you before we go to these other points that we are going to discuss as a group together. So you are going to give us a story, especially from the last time we met, because there were some reactions. I should read for you some few of them. Some people who are like, "Oh no, we should not do fruitarian. Oh, there'll be dangers on it. I don't know what." Yeah. So maybe we start from there, Alan. Ellen, the floor is now open for you to little talk with us.
Okay. Well, I was kind of interested to hear what others had to say, but yeah, I want to talk about what you mentioned in the invitation about my recent 20-day liquid fast. So March 19th, I started a water fast, and I did it for 7 days. This was the longest water fast I ever done, but yeah, I was able to easily go through 7 days. Yeah, I think I was just I guess from experience and having the clean diet, just the raw fruitarian diet, it was fairly easy. The first 30 to 50 hours was probably the most difficult, where I'm getting hit with lots of cravings, and whatnot. But after the 50th hour, it's just smooth. No more cravings. Yeah, and then no thoughts of food. I didn't have any thoughts of food. It was just, and when I say water fast, I don't drink a lot of water, because from what I understand, drinking too much water would deplete your electrolytes, and then you will end up with lots of cramps and feeling really weak. So when I say water fast, I didn't drink a lot of water. I probably drank less than a liter every day. Some days I just took a couple sips and I was fine. And I would say around day 6, or around the end of day 5, day 6, and day 7, my mind was very clear, but I noticed my body started moving like a sloth. Like my body knew to conserve energy. So when I go work out, my intensity, I lower my intensity, my workout intensity. Usually I'll go and I work out pretty hard. Like my 20th hour of the water fast, I go to the boxing gym and I was sparring. I don't know how many rounds, over 5 rounds of sparring. So that's how hard I usually work out. But that was 20 hours into my fast. I still had a lot of high intensity energy, but around day 6, day 7 is when my body started moving slower, but my mind was very clear. And it's like time stops, and everything is clear. And then after day 7 is when I started adding fruit juices to my fast. And then I noticed my energy was coming back up. around day 9 is when my cravings for salt, my cravings for cannabis significantly decreased. So I was a cannabis addict for almost 20 years. I've been smoking cannabis since I was a teenager, and it became like an everyday thing for me. But around day 9 of this liquid fast, I no longer
Just a
got
minute.
hit
Just
with
a
those
minute.
cravings. Sure.
Just a minute, Alan. You said you are cannabis addict or something. Eh? It was hanging. I didn't get the other part of what you were saying. I think my network, or maybe your network. I'm not sure.
I apologize. Okay, so I was talking about day 9 of this liquid fast, which 2 days into the juice fast. So the first 7 days was a water fast, and then after 7 days, I started adding fruit juice, fresh fruit juices to my to the fast. So I don't think it's really called a fast, so I just go liquid fast. It's actually, some folks call it a solid food vacation, but no solid foods, just liquids. And I was drinking pure, freshly squeezed fruit juices. So around day 9 is when a lot of my cravings, not just for food, but my cravings for salt, which is food, but for salt and cannabis, it significantly decreased. And I used to be such a big cannabis addict where it got me to a point where like I was smoking pretty much every day, and it became like an everyday thing. But around day 9 is when the I want to say the addiction or the cravings for cannabis pretty much disappeared. So I was like, oh, cool. This is probably part of the detox. And I also really pay attention to my urine. I pee in a glass jar, and I usually give that to my plants. But I think around day 7 or day 9 or day 8, I looked at my pee, and there were sediments. There were sediments in my pee. So I'm thinking that's part of the detox as well. Well, whatever that fruit diet I was on whatever it didn't detox came out from my pee, or that's what I think. I should have
just a minute. I think it's a kidney filtering. That means that kidney is filtering perfectly, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
I've heard about that too, but I wasn't exactly 100% sure this is from the kidney filtering. But yeah, I did notice the sediments, and I was like, okay, cool. My body is still detoxing, even though I was on this fruit diet for over a year. And from then on, it was just really smooth. I was really happy. It really helped with mood. It really helped with mood. And I lasted for 20 days. And then finally I got too cocky. I'll follow my my mother shopping for food, and I'll look at all these good looking food and whatnot. And then the temptation it finally came back, and I'm looking through like my social media, looking at all these good foods and whatever. Finally I ate a kiwi, so I broke my solid food, or I ended my solid food vacation. I ended my liquid fast with some kiwis. So, and yeah, my experience from that, my mind was really clear. The mood was really good. I was always in a good mood. No hunger, but since I started fasting since 2018, I don't really remember the last time I got truly hungry. So yeah, no hunger, no cravings for salt, no cravings for cannabis. That was like my highlight of this 20-day liquid fast. And yeah, if anybody have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Yeah, we have so many things. I actually will start with the cannabis. How long have you been addicted to this? Because few people will talk about this. Very few people will open up and talk about this directly the way you are doing it here. So maybe we can start with that point, and then we come to the salt addiction. Yeah.
I believe first time I smoked cannabis, I think I was like 11 years old. but I didn't really get addicted to cannabis until I was maybe like 15 or 16. And it became like an everyday thing since I was a teenager. And then I'll be on and off, but during this past couple of years, it was like an everyday thing. It became an everyday thing again. And cannabis really, I want to say it's like a performance enhancer. It could be just in my mind, because I would smoke cannabis and I'll go running, and I'll run for longer distance than when I'm not on cannabis. So I was like, maybe this is like a performance enhancer for myself. But it became like an everyday thing. And now, during the solid food vacation, which is the liquid fast, my cravings pretty much disappeared. So I think from the detox, I was able to beat cannabis addiction. So I thought that was great. Now that's another level of freedom when you're able to detox away your like certain addictions, right? I was a slave to cannabis, looking for cannabis almost every day, right? So that's another level of freedom that I'm thankful for from this experience. And I plan on so I just been eating solid fruits lately, since last Thursday. Last Thursday is when I ended the solid food vacation, and then I plan on going on it. It's actually a Wednesday right now here in Japan, or it's probably Wednesday too over there as well. But I plan starting another one tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to go as long as I can with just fruit juices or water or dry fasting. So I'm gonna see how long I could go. See what else I'll detox, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. So far the longest solid food vacation I've been on is 20 days, which was this recent one, and I plan on going longer than that. And then a lot of folks, from what I hear, from this 90-day solid food vacation, they're able to detox out the mucoid plaque in their intestines. But I feel like I was able to detox out the mucoid plaque from my intestines from just 90 days of eating fruits. I was able to poop out this solid tar like kind of rock heavy black substance when I on the 90th day, around the 90th day of my fruit vacation. And that really blew my mind. That really opened me up to detoxing and how important it probably is, and this time I'm gonna try to see how long I'm gonna go as longer than 20 days, and I'm gonna take data and keep you guys updated on that. So yeah, that's my recent story.
And I have two questions as you're talking. They're coming up, based on the information you're sharing. But after you started the fruitarian lifestyle, this was over a year now, were you still addicted to cannabis? And people need to know what it means, because it's a serious issue outside here. People need to know what we mean by cannabis sativa. So I think they call it in some places marijuana or something like that. Is that right? Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And in Kenya here we call it bang. In Kenya we call it BHANG, bang. And so many people here have issues with mental health issues. People here in the place where I stay here, they have a lot of this smoking, and it has affected them so much. And there are a lot of issues of people with mental illness. We don't know which kind. There's so many people with mental illness around. So when you say that you were addicted, we needed to know also, after you started the fruitarian diet, were you still practicing, or did you stop but you had the cravings, you felt like you were still addicted, you wanted but you stopped? At what point did you stop? Exactly.
I was able to stop during this fruit diet, I believe last summer. And then it's just one of those things where, it shows up you know, like as a gift. And I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. And then from there, it comes back again, just like an alcoholic. You drink just a little sip of that alcohol, and it goes back to that same pattern again. I was addicted, and it might be something mentally, or I feel like it really helps me cope with certain things, like certain trauma, maybe childhood trauma that I'm trying to like cover. The cannabis helps cover that, helps ease the pain. But now it's just like I want to detox. If trauma, if you're able to detox trauma, then I want to get to that level. So I want to just put the cannabis aside and just go, you know,
Direct.
this long fast and see if I could detox whatever, if it's the parasites, if it's the trauma that's causing me to want or enjoy the effects of cannabis. Because I feel like when your blood pressure is really high, you smoke cannabis, I feel like it lowers the blood pressure a lot. And it could be just from breathing. You know, when you smoke cannabis, you really focus on your breathing. It could just be breath work that's really helping me cope with things instead of the cannabis. And the cannabis could just be a placebo. It could just be in the mind. But I do notice the performance enhancing properties of cannabis, especially when you're physically working out, and that also helped my addiction more. Like it became like a pre-workout. Like I'll smoke cannabis and then I'll work out, and I feel like I always get the best workouts on cannabis. But ultimately, that could just be in my mind. So now I'm just gonna try to put all these vices away. Maybe not the you know, the smartphone and the internet, because I won't be able to share this with you guys if I put all this away. But yeah, I'm gonna try to detox it out. Whatever that was causing me to lean towards cannabis, I want to detox all that out and enjoy the freedom. But yeah, it was an addiction where it's like, oh, I should smoke today. I wake up in the morning, first thing I do is smoke. I take a shower, I eat breakfast, I smoke. You know, I go number 2 in the restroom, I smoke. It just became like how cigarette smokers smoke after everything they do. It just became something like that. And I guess it became a habit. And eventually became an addiction. And so, yeah, after the 9-day solid food vacation, all that kind of just disappeared. And then it put my mind frame to the point where it's like, why did I even need that? I have the energy now. I could still work out without it. And it just brought me to like a realization that, hey, maybe this is just all in the mind. You don't really need it. And so I want to get back to that point. So I want to start my solid food vacation. I want to start my liquid fast again tomorrow. I only say tomorrow is because I have a bunch of fruits left and I just want to eat them all before they get bad. So tomorrow I'm gonna start. So yeah.
Can I make a remark? And yes, I know that the most important phase is when you finish the fast, because during the fast you are disintegrating cells. You are into processes of eating bad cells, broken, ill cells. So the most important thing for the body is of a health point of view is after the fast. That's why Filonov, also other scientists, tell that you do not have to rush and make fasts very often, because the body needs this space of time to create new cells, to repair. You know that they have made a scientific research that maybe that's why he tells 2 months, but it is not known exactly how much the stem cells in the body are growing growing into this period because the body.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
They say about 120 days, something like that. Roughly. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and this period is important because the body is creating new structures, new tissues. It's repairing, for example, if someone have heavy diseases, it repairs the organs. So my question and my remark is why do you want to go into another juice fast so quickly after you have finished this one? Why do not separate a little bit the fasts?
It's curiosity. I think a lot of it is curiosity, and yeah, maybe the impatience for that 120 days. Yeah, that, to be honest, yeah, it's I want to get, I love, or I enjoyed the feeling, that zone. I enjoyed the feeling I was in. I enjoyed the state of mind that I was in during the fast. That it's just like, oh, I think I want to get back on it, because now I'm eating whatever. I feel a lot more lazier, but I noticed the intensity, the intensity in the gym got a lot higher when I actually eat solid foods. And so it's kind of like oh, excuse me, 1 second, let me set my phone. So it was,
yeah, excuse me,
oh,
because I know that from my experience, I know that also the fast is like also addiction, because it's you go into euphoric thing, and I have been also in that place that I want to continue to do it, but maybe you should think that your body needs to recover, so you can make more harm sometimes because of your desire to experience this state than benefit. So you have to weigh and also to educate yourself about how the processes work, because during fast and during eating time, the processes in the body are different. They are opposite. They are not the one that we know usually when we eat. But you have to be careful because you can make harm to the body instead of benefit. So
thank you so much for your advice. Yeah, I think you're yeah, you're right. Maybe I should give my body a rest. But when I broke the fast, I wasn't necessarily feeling like I needed food. It was just temptation. It was just temptation that got me. Finally, I was playing around. I thought the temptation won't beat me this time. I got really cocky, and I'm looking at all these, videos and pictures of food, and it was just like, boom, like,
yeah.
oh snap! It got me with temptation. And you're right. Maybe I should be more patient instead of being more greedy to reach that euphoric state. And I think maybe that's what I'm chasing, is that euphoric state. And you're right. Maybe I should take a break. But I also, like, I want to say I know my body best, and I didn't feel like my body was, calling out for help, like, hey, you should stop. It's just me giving into temptation, and then it just snowballed from there, where I eat one kiwi, and then the next day I'm eating, avocados and more kiwis, and yeah, my body becoming more lazy could just be from it still trying to recover, but it went from high to back down to low. So I'm gonna go on this fast, and if I do feel really bad, then I would know when to stop, and I'll keep you guys updated on how I feel or how I felt. And this time I'll try to take more data. Also, a funny story, during day I believe day 10 or day 9. It's the first Friday. It was the second Friday, so day 14 maybe. I can't remember. Anybody went through sleep paralysis? Anybody experienced sleep paralysis or night terror? I was sleeping in bed on my back, and my body couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I felt like something was on top of me, holding me down. So this could just be like me hallucinating, but yeah, it felt like something demonic was on top of me, holding me down, and it happened during my fast, and I thought that was interesting. And
Can I explain that a little? We have the spiritual aspect, and there's also this part that Trevor was also experienced the same thing sometime. I also think Hitel also had some experiences of the same thing sometime. So it's like it's a stage in fasting, somewhere where somebody feels as if it's like electrocuted, or you reach a point where you feel as if there's an out of body experience, something like that. But from my point of view, it could also be the demonic entity that has been controlling your life, puppeting you. So it's time for this thing to leave. You see, fasting also makes these things to leave people's body. I think so. If you know about demonic entities, but we don't want to go to that direction now. Though it is part of it is spiritual. So fasting because changes people, and you realize so many spiritual things that you didn't know before. You have not even known them. Yeah. But when you get into the fast, you get into that. Though I also feel there could be some scientific explanation for this electrocuting power at a point where somebody reaches a point that they find themselves electrocuted or something like that, as if there's some extra power that is holding you somehow. Yeah, exactly. So I went off and came back. I don't know. You people are, yeah.
That's actually what I heard from other people. They're telling me it could be an out of body experience since I'm going through this fast. It's like a spiritual thing, and then the detox help you go through this out of body experience. I also heard it's something demonic that is trying to control you and trying to get back in or whatever, or and then maybe that detox is detoxing away this demonic entity. Yes, just spiritually speaking, I can't prove any of this, but I thought it was really interesting that it happened during the fast.
And that's why we have to talk from our experiences, because these people outside here will not listen to us if we don't tell them what we have really experienced. There are some things that don't have scientific explanations. We just experience them and then we share them. You see, that's a difference now. Yeah. So if you are fasting, just don't be shy to share. Just say it, even if you don't understand now. With the time, we will know what it is. With the time, but on my side, because I've been fasting for some time, I know sometimes I encounter those demonic entities. You encounter them and they want to suppress you. Just the same way Trevor was speaking in the first time we had in that interview. They want to suppress you. They're communicating to you. Don't do this. This is So fasting has many dimensions. We have medical fast. We have also fasting spiritual fasts. And most of the time, this medical fast changes after you understand. If you go for some long time, it changes to be more of spiritual now. So there are different stages there. So Alan, can we go to the next thing? Or somebody else wants to make a...
Yes, I wanted to interrupt you a little bit, just to also to talk about that you have been in fast 7 days, and after that you have foods, but in a liquid form, because the processes that are happening in the body during a non-food fast, without any food, only with water or without water dry fast, and with foods in whatever form they come into the body, are very different. So it is called juice fast, but it is not a fast. Fast is only when you constrict your body from food, only on water or without water and without food. So you have been during this period, you have been 7 days fasting, and after that you have eaten, but in a liquid form. So you have started to introduce foods, but in this form. So it's important because the physical and physiological processes that are happening in the body during times of without food and with food are very, very different. So we do not have to mingle them. They are different. So when you are fasting with juices, you are in fact eating, but in the form of a liquid food. Yes, that's what one remark.
Yeah, and it also goes with what we call the true fast. Because
Actually,
Fikram,
hello.
okay, just talk.
Yeah, hello. Okay, so the demonic thing which you, Frederick, speaking about is this the impact of the celestial body which happening during the during fasting. So understand the solar system which we are living, the impact that solar system also have impact on our body. So if something happening to there which leads to have a negative or positive impact on our body.
I get you. Yeah. So we talk about. Thank you, Vikram. And Alan, is there something else you wanted to say before we go to this second agenda here?
Oh no, I just wanted to agree with Gergana. Is that how you pronounce your name, Miss Gergana? Yeah, yeah, I do believe fasting is either just water or no water. That's kind of why I say liquid fast. But yeah, I totally agree. It's not really I don't feel like it's a true fast. I was eating, but in liquid form. But I still feel like I still was getting that euphoria that I was getting from fasting, or it could just be from the water fast. The effect was just still continuing. I'm not too sure, but I would try again, and I'll let you guys know what I find out.
And by the way, by this time, do you feel that you have totally delivered yourself? Do you think that now you feel like you don't have the addiction now any longer for cannabis sativa, or you still have some?
I still get moments where I'm like, oh, I should smoke right now. You know, like there are times when I get a little bit stressed out over dumb things. I think about it now. I was like, oh, I'm getting stressed out over dumb things. But at that moment, I would be like, oh, if I smoke right now, I feel a lot better. But yeah, it could just be. It's just in the mind. I think I think I beat the addiction.
Yeah, you're going to beat it with this, Johnny.
And how many days you have been on a water fast, or how many days you have been on your longest water fast or your longest dry fast?
My longest dry fast was 142 hours, which is 2 hours shy from 6 days. And then my longest water fast was just last week. It was 7 days, but 169 hours from March 19th to March 26th. That's my longest water fast. And then that's when I added the liquids.
Yeah, you have to try a water fast longer and you will see different things happening. Yeah.
I will keep that in mind. It was one of those things, like it was like, should I continue to water fast? It's because I'm a member of this, or I'm a member of this boxing gym, and I pay a certain amount every month, and I wanted to make the best of it. And like Saturdays is when we go spar, and what I thought was, wanted some energy so I could go enjoy my sparring. It's something I look forward to. But now I want to focus more on the detox and spirituality, and maybe just put aside the work, the working my body too hard, just for a little bit, and continue this fast. So it was like a sacrifice, hobby versus fasting. It's like but now I'm gonna.
You have to have a separate time, yes, on which to concentrate. Yeah.
Right.
I have done 21-day water fasts. Yeah, and usually into the late stages of the fast, your energy is dropping, so you cannot be so active. I also train with heavy lifting, but during these times you just stretch and make some not so intensive exercises or movements. So yeah, and I have done also 9-day dry fast, 9 days. Yeah, but you have to try it in order to experience it, to know how your body reacts to every stage. And it's not difficult. It's just you have to prepare yourself mentally. This is the most important thing, because I have done my fasts without any preparation of foods before that. Like Filonov says that, for example, you have to prepare 2-3 months in order to enter the fast. I have done it from just today to tomorrow, and there is no difference into my physical state of being. But it's important to have an intention and to have a decision to make that long. Yeah, and it's easy. It's not difficult.
I totally agree. Yeah, the intention and then the determination really factors in. And yeah, the mind frame is very important when starting to fast. So yeah, I totally agree. Thank you for that advice. I will focus a lot more on fasting now. But thank you for the advice.
Alan, I had a
Sorry?
question.
Just ask.
Hello. Yeah, Alan, I had a question that when you consume cannabis, do you have any spiritual experience? Like, do you experience that time?
Sometimes I do. Like, it blows my mind. I get epiphanies sometimes. Like, it's the cannabis that I was an atheist for a long time, but I feel like the cannabis is open a lot of windows for me. And then the fasting definitely opened a lot of windows for me to work on spirituality. And yeah, sometimes when I smoke weed, I get like this signs, you know. I can't even explain it. But yeah, I get these epiphanies, which kind of leads me towards the high, you know, that the existence of the higher being. And so maybe the cannabis does help open certain pathways and realizations and whatnot. But I hope
as per Indian text, the siddhas, like the higher energy people who consume cannabis, when they reach the particular stage, for spirituality, they are doing this. So they are saying that after eating this, they are having a direct interaction with the higher energy soul, which is living at a higher point of consciousness. So that's why I had asked this question, because I also consume for cannabis for spirituality, but later I stopped.
Yeah.
So from what I understand, the cannabis high gets you to a certain frequency, right? A good high frequency. And I think once you're able to get above that frequency where that cannabis high is like no longer necessary, then I think that's when you could just stop your cannabis intake. And I think cannabis is like training wheels. You know, when you don't know how to ride a bike, the cannabis is like a training wheels towards this spiritual journey. I don't know, but I do feel that like spiritual experiences on cannabis as well. And I've also seen like a celebration in India where they smoke cannabis to honor Shiva.
Yes.
The
There was a
Hinduism,
festival. Yes, actually, when you actually there is a stage reached when you high above the cannabis, like what you said now, like a stage reached when you don't need a cannabis, your body doesn't require that stage. I think you reach that stage.
Yeah.
I think so too, and that's why I'm like, hey, maybe I'll just continue this fast and I'll stay at that high frequency to the point where I don't need the frequency that the cannabis high gets me at. And so I was like, okay, if I could just keep hitting that frequency, then I got that freedom to stay away or to get away from that cannabis addiction. So that's kind of why I want to get back into the fasting, right? It's like I'm greedy. I want to feel that feeling again. I want to feel that mind state again. So that's kind of why I kind of want to jump back in. But I understand what Miss Gargana is saying about, yeah, hey, listen to your body, give it time to rest from the fast. But I will keep that in mind. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, and I think the only path we can take is the fasting path. We can't take the cannabis sativas path. What I mean is that we want something very natural. Fasting is what puts us into that platform, and it comes slowly. It's a process. It's not something that is drastic just once and then has side effects. Fasting has no side effect at all. So you see, with cannabis, there are some other people who have different reactions and different whatever, very negative side effects. That's why I've not done so much research about it. I didn't even know our discussion today will take that direction, this direction. It has just taken off. Yeah. So we will encourage people to, on my side, we will encourage people to fast themselves out of any addiction, including alcohol, anything that is, even coffee, those stimulants, all of those addictions. We just need to, just to have our body that is natural, the way we were created to be, the way the original being that we are, and that's the path that fasting takes us into. And then I wanted to ask you something a little about on the 90th day that you talked about mucus plug. Did you talk about mucus plug? You remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
The mucoid plaque.
The mucoid plug. What really, after it has left your body, can you remember your experiences after that time when it left your body?
I remember that day really clear. That day I took a dump, and I actually took a dump in a bucket full of dirt because I wanted to use my poop as fertilizer for my cannabis plants. And then I left it under the sun and let it dry. I let my poop dry first, and then I come back to it like 2 weeks later to look at it. And then what was my poop? It became like dirt, but the mucoid plaque stayed rock hard. Looked like tar, and I touch it and it's still rock hard. And that's where it's just like, oh, this is mucoid plaque that I've been hearing about from all these other fruitarians that was able to detox. But from there, it really changed my mindset on the diet. And this is where I really got content with the idea that I want to stick with this fruit diet, and I don't want to eat I don't want to eat anything else anymore. I want to, I remember the last meeting I mentioned in the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. It's written, the fruit diet is written in the Bible. It's also written in the Bhagavad Gita, right? The chapter 17, the sattvic foods. When they're explaining sattvic foods, it just sounds like they're talking pretty much about, the raw vegan diet. And so yeah, it really made me content with the idea that I don't have to eat any more other foods anymore. And this is the path that I want to continue. I can't say this is the true path because I don't know yet. I've only been on this path for maybe 400 days now. I stopped counting. I had to recount. I've been on this path since March 9th, 2020. So I think I've already passed 400 days. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to learn. But yeah, when the mucoid plaque came out, my mind was a lot more clear. I felt a lot better. I felt a lot more lighter. I started seeing 6-pack abs on my body for the first time in my life, and it's just like, it just blew my mind. Because mainstream science, right? Science is not perfect, like you said. They can't even explain the sleep paralysis and the demonic entities that visit you, right? So now, because of that, mainstream science is talking about fruitarian diet and, saying, hey, it's not recommended. Even Dr. Filanov wasn't really recommending the fruitarian diet, right? Because science, mainstream science this is what they're saying. But now it's like I put the mainstream science aside and go towards these spiritual texts, these ancient texts, and then that really opened up more roads towards upping my spirituality level. So So yeah, the mucoid plaque came out. I feel a lot better. I feel a lot, my mood definitely went up. My mood was a lot better. Yeah, everything, body, mind, spirit, I felt like it just became a lot better. And I think the mucoid plaque being in there was just like limiting you from taking all these nutrients, if that even exists, from foods that you eat. Now you have to eat more food because your intestines is like covered in mucoid plaque, and it's not properly taking whatever energy or nutrients it's trying to take from the food. And it was just giving you all these diseases and just limiting you. So you feel a lot more freedom. You feel a lot more stronger. You feel a lot open now. You feel a lot more free. And yeah, I think overall it just felt great. That mucoid plaque coming out really changed my life. And now I can't even imagine eating meats. I can't even imagine eating bread. All these things. I can't even imagine eating my mom's home cooking. That's how much it changed my life. So yeah, it's I don't know how, it's very hard to explain, but yeah,
Okay.
if in a positive way, it's really affected me.
I got you. And I needed also just a
Can I-
few. Okay, so just
Can
no,
I
sorry.
say something? Yeah. The human mind is so created that whatever you choose to do or to focus on, that's what your data from the outside world into your movie becomes. So if you have decided to focus on this type of diet or living or whatever style you choose, you will see everywhere things that are confirming your bias. So because I'm meat eater and I have passed through your path, I have been vegetarian, vegan, and explore different paths. You have to stay open all of the way, because there are so many other things that you are not seeing because you have focused only on your thing and you think that it's the thing. But you have to be open, because there are so many data that confirm also the other way of thinking. For example, I have recently heard about a scientific research that tells exactly the opposite, that this mucus is very important for the intestines, and it should be there in order for you to absorb food, to absorb minerals, vitamins, and everything from your food. And they were stating that it is wrong to get out of your mucus. You need it in order to receive the nutrients from the foods. So everything you have to question. And also I think it's not very beneficial to connect food with spirituality, because it is different. And for example, in the Bible, in the New Testament, there is no evidence that Jesus or any of the apostles tell their disciples how to eat in order to be spiritual. So so this is also a bias, to think that through food or through kind of living you will become spiritual. It's not that way, because spirituality is based on your spirit and in the state of your spirit, and it's very difficult, very separate. It is a whole also. Your body is a whole thing, but one you cannot come from the body and start to become spiritual because you are eating that way or the other way. So there are spiritual people that are eating meat, and also spiritual people that are eating fruit. So it's not like strict recipe that you can tell people, if you are eating only fruits or only vegetables, you become more spiritual. This is not the pathway to spirituality through food. And also the man is omnivore. So he can eat everything, and it is the best thing for our body to be able to eat and to absorb nutrients from everything. So you can choose whatever you want. It is your choice, but I suggest to you to be open, because there are so many other things that your focus cannot now see, because you have focused on the thing that you have chosen. But be open, because maybe after 2-3 years you can see other things and they can change your life. Yeah.
You're right. Thank you for that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's biased, because this is what I was on and this is what changed my life, and I became focused on that one thing. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, thank you for that. And I do try to be open, because I look at Buddhist monks, and then they work on their spirituality, but then they eat meat that are donated to them. They thankfully accept, and then they eat the meat. So you're right. Ultimately, the diet is not the one and all answer. And I feel like you're right, and I feel like, yeah, you're right. I've been, because it changed my life the way I thought it did, that I just focus on that one path, and I completely. But yeah, I do look at other spiritual monks that are folks that work on spirituality, that have other diets besides the fruit, and I often wonder about that. But yeah, but then it was just one of those things, like, okay, move that aside and focus on this thing. But yeah, thank you. I will stay open.
Wow. Thank you, Alan. And thank you, Alan, for being open there. And it is important we speak sometimes what we feel is the truth, because and I want to say there are some reactions. Me, I've not tested. I've not tried to do a fruitarian lifestyle yet, but when I posted it, I found that there were some reactions, not just from Alan's interview, even for Anne Osborne. There's a person down there who, in her video, down in the video, somebody said that I tried this thing, it almost killed me. Another person also talked about, you will see I needed to read for you this one. Somebody was saying that you're going to see the results after a long time. Actually, it's not the results, the side effects. That's what they were saying. That's what this one person was saying. So everything is done with a balance, and we also make trials. We are not, actually, Dr. Finolov was very clear when he was talking about this. He said he didn't want to go on somebody's dietary lifestyle, but he recommended the universal way, what is really acceptable everywhere else, and that was eat what is available in your environment. That's what he was saying. That's exactly what he was saying. So we may not go so deeper on this one, but Alan is just sharing his story. But again, getting our reactions is very important. Jegana, you have done very well for opening up. Sometimes for me, I'm not a person who goes that direction. Me, I'm a person who tries to get information from the person. I just want to get the experience. I want to get the detailed things that happened. But then on the side of advice and consultation, I'm not very good on that point. I'm good on the point of getting information from a person. So, Alan, I think there's something else needed we maybe handle now on the path. Actually, we have started a journey that is going to be very engaging. And one of the things that I've seen, when people need to know about healing themselves, allowing the body to heal itself, not depending on these pills. And this will take us time. It is going to take us time. And I've also felt that we need to leave records for the next generation. All these things we're doing now, Alan, in 10 years' time, we now understand it very differently. The way we understand it now, if we continue this path in maybe 5 years or 11 years to come or 20 years to come, it will be very different. So we'll even check on our records. Where did we come from and where are we going? What worked? What did not work? You see? And as we are going, there are some things that we're discovering that might even be very important, very, very important for the next generation that is coming before us. And even this generation, there are people we have not reached. There are people who don't know. This thing is totally a new thing to news. If you tell a person about staying without food and water 5 days, it's like, you're not, you are lying. They'll tell you that that's a lie. And you see, it has been taught into the system, something that has taken so many years and generations upon generations. So taking it away from their mind, the programmed thing, taking away from their mind, that programmed thing is going to take us time. And we are the agents, we are the ambassadors, we are the people who have the information now. And we don't force it, because with fasting, it's so forced. It's something that we take time to educate, and that's why we have these webinars. Even if we are going to have as many as we can, we are going to have as many as we can. Webinars, if possible, you have radio shows. That's why I was talking about this. So can we go to first point on translations of the videos, books on a dry fast for international languages? This, I thought, Alan, we started well with you translating Dr. Finelov's interview into Japanese, and he wanted to connect more with you. And I also think we need to get more volunteers. People are coming up with me. I can translate Spanish. I can translate Portuguese. We need those Mandarin. I want people from Japan, China, Korea, so that it can reach them the other side. Anybody who can be found, who is willing, who knows another language that is international, should open up now and talk about this, because it has been, if you check carefully, it has been closed in Russia. This thing has been in Russia practiced so well, accepted almost everywhere. In Russia, people are well conversant with it, but outside Russia, very few people have the idea of dry fast, and especially the medical dry fast. I've also realized that people in Russia, especially those ones who have, how can I say, Nurano want to say something. Nurano, just unmute yourself, please.
Oh, sorry. I just want to asking about something. Is it okay to asking right now, Frederick?
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you so much, because very, very great sharing discussion, and thank you so much for Alan. I'm a very, very new, to be honest, Alan here. So I just want to gather a lot of information, and I kind of feeling interest with being fruitarian. And to be honest, I start to do fasting like for maximum 24 hours. But right now I want to try about doing fasting for 24 hours with fruit only. But I'm kind of slim. So sometimes when I start to eat for prepare for fasting, I just eat like 2 apples and 1 banana, and then I got full. So is it enough for me to get fasting for 24 hours and then I still have a job like teaching, or I should increase the fruit? And perhaps I want to know also about how many fruits you consume for fasting, or about the experience about how many, or should I increase, should I decrease, or when I need to work out, I need to increase like this, or what kind of fruit. So it is still very confusing, but I guess I need to start first with doing fasting 24 hours, but I still kind of confused how many fruit I should eat. Yeah, perhaps you have kind of information about this, because when I start to do juicing, I feel better because I had a lot of health issues, and I guess it's kind of good for me, but I still very lack information about the fruitarian. So yeah, perhaps you can make some advice about this. Thank you so much.
Yes, sure. When I eat fruits, I usually eat until I'm full or satisfied. I don't really count calories. I don't really count how many I should eat. I usually just listen to your body and just eat as much as you feel like you're satisfied, and then try out the fast. You don't have to jump right into a 24. You could just try 16 and see how you feel from there. But also keep in mind Detox Symptoms, you might feel weak at first. When I started the fruit diet, the first week, especially day 3, I was feeling really weak. And I feel like this was because of the detox symptoms. And then I started working out after day 7. My energy level went up and I started to work out. And then it's the same with when I started fasting. I didn't jump right into working out really hard because until you get more experience and until you get used to the fasting, once you get more experience fasting, then you start to know your limits, your limits when working out. So I would suggest in the beginning, start off slowly. If you are to work out, do low intensity workouts, like maybe walking, see how you feel. And then when your energy level starts going up, when your body starts getting used to the ketosis, when your body starts getting used to the fasting, and then that's when you could pick up your workout intensity. But yeah, as for how much fruits, it might all depend on the person. So eat until you feel satisfied. What I do is I eat within 8 hours until I'm satisfied. And then I usually fast for 16 hours. And then if I feel good, sometimes I fast for longer. And yeah, just start from 16, start from intermittent fasting, 16 hours first. And as you get used to it, start adding hours, maybe go 18 and then 20, or if you feel good, yeah, go 24, do 24 hours. And when you break your fast, make sure you don't just eat crazy. Just, eat little by little. Maybe start off with some water, and yeah, see from there. Because when I first started fasting, yeah, I tried to do intense workouts, but I've been working out. I've been doing lots of workouts since I was a young teenager, so I kind of knew my energy level and what my limits were when it comes to working out. So yeah, experience the fast first, and then from there, start off maybe slowly with your low intensity workouts, and when you feel good, that's when you can pick up your intensity. I hope this helps, and I hope I answered the questions you had. So if there's anything else, please
thank
feel
you.
free.
Yeah, to be honest, I used to do fasting like for 24 hours, but I eat a lot of food, kind of various food, but I feel not that great for my body. But when I try to do juicing, I feel better. But yeah, that's my question, what kind of, how many, but I think you already answered it. So I need to, I need to try to adapt it. So yeah, thank you so much. You already answered my question.
You're welcome. And I also wanted to mention that when I eat bananas or avocados, it doesn't really hydrate me as much as other fruits. So I would recommend, sure, eat bananas, but if that's what you like, please feel free, and then maybe take data on how you feel. And what I do is I separate the types of fruits. So I don't mix bananas with oranges. I don't mix acidic fruits with non-acidic fruits. And supposedly that helps with the digestion, faster digestion, and which ultimately equals faster detox. So try not to mix the fruits. So if you eat bananas at 7 a.m., maybe wait to 9 a.m. before you eat any other different fruits. And you can mix acidic fruits with other acidic fruits. Like I could eat pineapples with oranges. They're both acidic fruits. And then it doesn't make me feel like I get lazier. I notice if I mix a lot of foods, right, and your body takes a lot more energy to process it, this enzyme for this food, this enzyme for that food, and then a lot of work, and then you end up getting sleepy, right, because eating too much different foods. But yeah, I would recommend eating within a window. I do an 8-hour window, as much as you can, or until you feel satisfied. If you can sleep well at night, then I think you're pretty much satisfied, right, with the food you eat. So yeah, just see how you feel the fruit fast at first, and then when you get used to it and when you start knowing your body more on fruits, that's when you can pick up your workout intensity. But just note, when I started the fruit diet, I didn't work out until after the 7 days, when I got my energy back, when my energy just went through the roof. And you will know, I think you will know when that time comes. So good luck on your journey. Wish the
Thank you.
very best.
Yeah, I just knew about the acidic food, fruit, and then alkaline food, because sometimes I just combine them. So I felt kind of sleepy, bloating, or not comfort. So yeah, thank you. I guess this is very new information that I need to focus with one kind of the fruit first. If I want to combine the like acidic and to alkaline, I need to wait like for 2 hours. So yeah. Okay, I get your point. Thank you so much.
Maybe after this, please send me a message or email. You can get my information through Mr. Frederick. I have a little chart for what fruits you can combine. You can also just Google, just type it on any search engine, fruit combining, and it'll kind of show you. It'll give you like charts on what fruits you can combine with what fruits, and you can use that as a guideline. So
okay.
Yeah. Once again,
thank you.
good luck with your journey.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Alan. You will also send it to us, so maybe you can share with the people in the group too. And the next thing I wanted to handle was this issue of translation of the videos. I thought what Dr. Philov has been telling us, especially the videos for Dr. Philov, because that's a doctor who has done this thing with a lot of experience, 20 years. They need to be in other languages. And that's where I was we need to find out more people who can, who are speaking other languages. And this will need more of volunteer as we try to, we want to be very organized in a way that we can get our work sustained for long, or what we do here is sustained for long. So when we get so organized, we will also source for funds. Maybe we'll be later, we'll get people who can translate professionally. But now we only work with people who are volunteering, at least for now, because we still don't have any funds anywhere. We have not organized ourselves up to that level up to now. So we only work with people who are in the group, who are volunteering, because it's like win-win, where you get the information, and we also, as you get the information, you also help others with this information. So that is the main thing. I think maybe somebody can say something, but that is number one agenda that is in my list that I thought we should have discussed. And I thank Alan for coming in the other day and translating into Japanese. And I hope, Alan, you're going to be in another meeting. We have another meeting with the Dr. Finalo very soon. He's going to be with the patients now. But when he comes back, maybe we're going to have another, we are going to have another meeting with him. And those meetings are like in series. I don't think there are things that are going to end very soon. According to how I'm already seeing his programs, like we were talking about 2 things per meeting until we finish the whole thing. So we are preparing a very big thing that needs to be shared with everybody in the rest of the world. What are your thoughts anyway? That's my thinking. What are your thoughts, Nate?
I think it's a great thing, right? Because Dr. Filanov is mainly in Russia, and I feel like there's a lot of people around the world don't have, no access to the information. And if they do want to read it, they would probably have to read it in Russian or English. What if other people who are not, right, can't read Russian or English, right, probably won't have much chances of getting that knowledge. So I think what you're doing is great. Reach people around the world, because still the idea of dry fasting is still new, right? And in 2016, which is pretty recent, like 5 years ago, the Nobel Prize for medicine was awarded to a Japanese doctor for realizing autophagy. And that's what Ms. Gergana was saying, where the old cells get broken down and new cells get built. That's from fasting. Fasting triggers autophagy and your body starts healing. But when you explain this to people, to the average folks in your neighborhood, a lot of people will be like, "You're crazy. This is crazy. that's not good for you, right? The knowledge is not there, and then the more we can reach out to the world, the more knowledge the world will have. And the less,
Alan, let me,
the less.
let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you a little. Now we are talking on behalf of the doctor is not here, but I'm also feeling this guy has done a lot of work that he should also be in the list of the Nobel Prize. Maybe we can recommend him, because Dr. Finalov, I'm talking about Dr. Finalov, because discovering this issue of disease disappears, second acidosis crisis of the 9th, 10th, and 11th. I think that is a great thing. We need to, SARS is from the group that can now recommend, if we write to the Nobel whatever committee, people from different places of the world, that will be a gift to him, because at this time he's just been giving us this thing for free totally. We have not paid him anything yet up to now. So I was also having that feeling that just a suggestion, it's not it's not a must, but the key thing here is taking this message to the rest of the whole world, because this is one thing that nobody's going to tell you no about. Health issues, universal health. There's nobody's going to tell you, oh, that is from which religion? No, it is from health religion. So this is for everybody. There's nobody who does not need good health. Yeah. Sorry for interrupting.
I think, Frederick, you have started to do a very good, a very wonderful job, because, for example, in Bulgaria, we have a Facebook group with almost 5,000 members. And a lot of people have begun this practice. For example, we have some that practice from 20 years ago, and some are new. And also we have gathered a very good data of scientific research. For example, the books and the teachings of Filonov, of Herbert Shellman. Is this the name? Or yes, Herbert Shelton, and many others. But for example, our admins, who are maybe the most knowledgeable, because he started this group, he has never spoken, for example, to speak with Filonov. We know about him, we know his books, but he has never, it never came to his mind to welcome him and to speak with him. And our languages are very close, so most of the people understand Russian language, and it would be very good to do this. But for example, you are doing it now, and it's so useful and beneficial for everyone. So I suggest maybe you make like some in Facebook or other social media, you make a group, and there will be a lot of people that come and share. And I think many people know about fasting, but it's not popular because everyone is practicing them for themselves, and maybe only in such a social media groups they speak. And they, for example, our group is closed because there are a lot of haters that come, and if the people are not sincere and not wanting to learn and to experience it, they only hate. So maybe in such close group there could be a very good forum for speaking, for sharing, and for growing into that knowledge, because I think it's not a new knowledge, it's a very old knowledge, but we're discovering it now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's very beneficial that you have decided to connect with such people that are practicing, and that they have clinics and that have clinical research, because I think the most important thing that we should encourage people to do is to educate themselves, because these people are speaking things, but everyone that want to practice has to educate themselves, to read research, and in order to have their mental understanding clear and right. So I think this is the most important thing, to educate and to encourage people to search scientific researches. For example, Filonov has a lot of practice. American Herbert Shelton has also a very long practice of water fasting. So these are practitioners that we can learn from their practice and from what they have done. Yeah, so it's very good.
And you see, Dr. Finlov was talking about proven, something that has been proven, something that has taken tests. We don't just guess things. We don't just use our lives as experiments. We must have information that we are very sure of. And that's why we take it from experts. But sharing our experiences is a little different. Like now, Alan is talking about his journey in a fruitarian lifestyle, which is very okay. We understand and we continue going with that kind of a thing, though taking from experts somehow makes it safe, makes the practice safe. Yeah. So I think all the part of opening a Facebook account, because Facebook might somehow is limitless. You can have as many members as it is. For WhatsApp has a limit. When we reach 250, when we reach that mark and people want to get in, I think we are now going to transfer ourselves to the Facebook group. From at this point, we are still at a little 150.
Because in WhatsApp, when someone new is coming, he cannot hear, he cannot read the previous talk. Yeah, because Facebook, for example, Facebook keeps everything, and you can go 2-3 years ago what they have discussed there, or you can see files that they have shared. So yeah.
WhatsApp also has that file part which somebody can check, if only files, not the chats, and documents. But the best idea is that one, because it's like we have the whole world. We have the whole world in our hands. We have to take this message to the rest of the world. We're not going to be in a closed group like WhatsApp alone. So we'll transfer ourselves to another, to that Facebook, and maybe we'll give it a good name that everybody else can relate to. I don't know. We're going to think about that. So thank you for that information. I think you have just done quite well for your opinion. The other thing that I wanted to talk about as number 2, which is very, though we have not exhausted number 1, but at least we have somewhere up to where we have reached with number 1. But number 2 on opening and operating fasting centers. This would be very challenging, though I've seen 3 up to now. I know about Dr. Finelov, that is medical dry fast. I know about Satmaga. Satmaga also is a center where he takes people come to him, and said it's about 200 kilometers from St. Petersburg. I think something like that, and 200 kilometers. And Vadim, the guy we have on Sunday, he has also a center where he also put people on fast. I think the recent one is going to tell us on Sunday is going to be on about 2 weeks people fasting. So I've realized that with fasting, the way we have said it earlier, is that it is a natural thing. Yes, there's the medical part where people have to be very careful, but if we take it as a natural thing with a lot of preparation, with clear preparation for people who have not yet done it before, and then we now have a center where we can do the coaching for people who have this passion and have gotten information. Because the most important thing is like I'm feeling like, for me, I already have one where we always go with people, but it's not an international one. It's not in a level where I can welcome guests from everywhere. It's only a local one here. We don't have shelters. We're just there in the rocks, in the caves. So that we can't welcome somebody from far away. So we need to prepare our own. But these are people who are very close to me. These are people who I coach. I tell them what to do. I observe them. We go together. When we're fasting, we fast all of us. I fast with them together. So I'm thinking of expanding, having something that people can come from every part of the nation where I am and even beyond. And that's why I was thinking we need to get ourselves also together and share. And this is not something that I can do as in, it's not for one person. If I do it in Kenya, you are in, like in UK, you can do it where you are. You should have some place where people can be coming. And then, because we are becoming we call it the resource people, because of the information we are getting raw. This information is to change us, yes, and also change people around us. It's not supposed to be just our own, for our own self alone. So we're not working for self. We're working for actually the whole universe, the whole system, the whole humanity. So that was a thought that I had. I don't know what people are thinking about this. What are your thoughts, maybe?
I don't know if Vikram is wanting to tell something because he has risen his hand.
Yeah, actually, I want to add something about the food, like the veg or non-veg type of food. About the food basically have a positive impact in our body or negative impact depend upon the cultivation of the food. Like if we grow organically the vegetables, it has a positive impact. But if we add some toxic chemical while it grows, it does have a negative impact on our body. So as for the meat industry, how they grow, and that's the thing that Alan should consider also.
Definitely. I feel like the way the meat industry, the big meat industry, at least in America, I don't know about anywhere else, but the big meat industry, the way they treat the animals, and then the way that what they feed the animals, and all the hormones and chemicals that go into the animals, I think it will impact the people that eat it as well. And it's the same with conventionally grown fruits and vegetables. Yeah, you grow it with a bunch of synthetic fertilizers. You give it, all these pesticides, and I think it does pass on to us when we eat it. And so I usually recommend to people who wants to do the fruitarian diet. And I know earlier someone was asking about the fruitarian diet, which I forgot to mention this. Conventionally grown fruits is okay. I do eat conventionally grown fruits as well, but then organic fruits I feel like it's better. And then ultimately the fruits you grow yourself is probably the best. You have that connection with the plants. You give it your carbon dioxide, it gives you oxygen. You give it love. You have that connection with that nature, and I think that's really important. And then in exchange, it gives you the gift of fruits, right? Just like flowers give nectar to the bees. In exchange, the bees help pollinate the plants. And it's like an exchange. It's like an exchange we have, and this big ecosystem. And I feel like we're part of that exchange with the plants, and we separated ourselves from that because of the way society is designed now. So thank you, Vikram. I feel like that is very important. The food you. Sure.
Meeting with Anne Osmond from Australia, she was talking about also sometimes changing because of, she talked about, was it micronutrients? Getting macro is easier, but getting the micro becomes a little challenge. So she was saying sometimes it's good to eat from different places, fruits from different places, because of the area where you are might be having a deficiency of something, in the elements or something like that. So she was saying sometimes you need to change where you're coming from, but you are eating from what you have grown. That is the first well, but then after some time you should also do some little of changing here, their own locality, location of where the fruits are coming from. I think I don't know if it's important for this, but I think
I think it does have some kind of factor, because I'm thinking our ancestors didn't just stay in one place, kind of like moved around, find, like they go out and gather fruits from other areas as well. They didn't, I'm sure maybe they did stay in one place for maybe a couple of years, and then there's like this, and then they move. I'm thinking, it does come from, they get these nutrients from other areas, because this one area is just like over farmed and the soil is depleted. It could be so many reasons as to why. And I also forgot to mention seasonal fruits is also important, because I feel like ultimately nature knows what you need at that time of the season. So put a lot of seasonal fruits into the diet. For those folks who wants to get into the fruitarian diet, I would recommend lots of seasonal fruits. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I comment? Yeah, can
Yes.
I comment about the thing that you spoke, that you want this message to be practiced all over the world? For example, I think in the different countries there are different regulation about doing fasting in some medical institutions, not hospitals, but centers. For example, in Bulgaria, I think there is a like it's not allowed to open, for example, such a clinic and to treat patients with fasting. I know, for example, that in Germany there are few clinics that are treating their patient with fasting, but I think in most, for example, in Europe, in most of the countries, they have some regulations that restrict doing practice, which is under medical supervision with fasting. That's why in Russia it is mostly developed, because they have their freedom to have such centers in which to practice. That's why, for example, in Bulgaria, we are doing fasting, everyone by themselves. And we advise people that are very ill and that has to be under medical supervision to go to Filonov in Russia to treat their diseases. But for example, people that are with not so heavy diseases, they only practice at home. That's why it should be seen in every country what are the regulations, because you know the traditional allopathic medicine don't want to give their power to such a simple method, which is also you don't need money to give anyone to do it yourself. So this is maybe the most difficult thing to make changes into the legislation in order to open such clinics to treat patients only with fasting.
Wow, thank you. I have information about this one in Germany. I had contacted them, and they were talking about they only do what I think maximum water fast. They don't want they don't want anything about dry fast. They don't want to hear anything about that. To them, it is a dangerous thing that they cannot get into. So this also gives us like in Kenya, this is open. Kenya is a very open country. I think most of African countries are very open. We have anything, you can bring anything, and we're like, accept it. And our laws are not that rigid. And
yes, here in Europe and in the States, it's very tough to bring something new. Yeah.
And that would make me have a plea for us who have open countries like ours. You people can support us, because financially we are very down. That is the truth. You have people in Europe, you have a little better. Financial status are better. So you could support these things, and you could be flying here. Flying to Kenya is very easy. We don't have restrictions for people coming from Europe, except for COVID now. Then the other thing that I think, those who can go to Dr. Finelov, we recommend them, they have to go to Dr. Finelov. Actually, when I have a center, for me, this one that I want to open, if God willing, with our timing, it is going to be like a blend. We blend the spiritual part of the fasting and also the medical part. But then with the medical, there must be the registration and all those things. They have to be followed the Kenyan law. So that will follow a little with all the processes. But would urge people, apart from urging people, I think also information. Where we can't open fasting center, where fasting center cannot be opened, we go to the places where they are. Like now we recommend the Finellov's clinic. And if you're in a place where you cannot open it for others, just be a group leader, maybe, just to inform people, just to volunteer yourself, bring them into the group, give them information, share the videos, things like that, so that they can also books, like that, so that they can know. Yeah, you can guide them on where to read. We must just spread this news. That's the point. We have just we don't want to sit on it, because again, what I've already seen, what you have from what is coming out is that we have already fighting a system that had been established long time ago, and this system knows, those who are establishing it, they knew what they were doing. They knew exactly that if these people do this way, they will not get money. If they go the natural way, we don't get money. So they were starting these things. I had some clips some time back. I was sharing in the group about the way all these things started, about the medications and fighting about the natural cures and all this. So we know exactly who we are fighting. And there are multi-billion organizations. They have a lot of billions of money. They can take. We don't have no power. We have no power over them. So we can only tell people who are willing. We can only give these people the option, those who are willing, and that's all we can do for now. So I think point 2 is clearly done. Then maybe point 3, organizing workshops, and this is now very interesting. I think this is allowed. This can be allowed from all the points. Let's just gathering people. People talk to them, or people are resourceful people, so that where you are, at this point we can gather people in the those are our social networks. But later we can, when the world opens up after the issues of COVID are gone, we can organize seminars. That's okay. I think that's okay. I don't know what you think about workshops and seminars. How about your thoughts maybe about this? I want to unmute myself.
I think it's a good idea. The workshops and seminars is another way to help spread knowledge, and then we can be that it starts with us. It starts with us, people who are willing, right? And then we could be that lighthouse, and then show other people. Other people will see that we're healing. Other people will see that we're bringing the light, and then eventually more people who practice fasting will increase, and hopefully we'll beat that big industry, big pharmaceutical industry that's saying no to natural healing. And then I could totally see them. They're making so much money. Why would they talk about fasting, right? It's such a big discovery that you would think it'll be all over TV, but no, they talk about today coronavirus has killed 4 people. They never talk about today the heart disease and diabetes killed 400 people. They never talk about that, right? They talk about stuff that'll make them money. I ultimately don't know, but I feel like that's what's happening, and I feel like it starts with us, right? The seminars, the meetings, these webinars, all these gathering of people help spread knowledge, increase the collective knowledge around the world, and then let's beat this. Let's beat this big industry, big corporation, the big power that's controlling all this.
Oh, wow, I agree. That is the truth. It is the truth. We have a challenge. It's like the biblical Goliath and David. So the side of the David and the Goliath is now the big farmer. But with God's help, with our will and well wishes and whatever from our hearts, when we are doing it from our hearts, not having any other intentions attached, it's going to succeed. It's going to succeed. And sometimes I do wonder. Look at Dr. Finelov. He is a medical doctor trained. And he said he came from a family of doctors. His families of doctors. And he just stopped to say, I don't want to give people pills. I think there could be a better way. Yeah, there could be a natural and a better way. I started to see, looked at his dog, took 8 days after getting some injury, and then went and sat on a shade, taking no water, taking nothing for 8 days. And then just woke up. After the 8th day, it's just okay. It was healed. It was okay. Also, and started to learn, okay, there could be something that this thing can also help human beings. And then he got information from other people who had already started to practice. And here he is. He left everything about. He stopped giving people pills. He's just using the dry fast, which can happen to anyone else in the whole world. Anyone else. We always look at the wild animals. They don't have ambulances. They don't have clinics. They don't have they don't have doctors, specialists, and they get sick and they get well. How? Somebody else can give the
Definitely no. Yeah, even when you're sick, and if you get sick or catch a cold, you don't have appetite to eat, right? So if we listen to our body, we actually want to fast when we get sick. And from what I understand, I never got surgery before, but from what I understand, doctors will tell you to not eat anything before the surgery and not eat anything maybe a day or two after the surgery. So technically they know about fasting, but they don't. I feel like, hospitals are ultimately a business, and that's connected with pharmaceuticals, and then they want to give pills. They want the customers to come back. Customers saying patients, meaning patients, right? So, but yeah,
Very
definitely,
true.
we're like David, but it's not impossible if we have good intentions and keep doing the good work, or at least I think this is the good work. Keep having a good heart, and continue spreading the knowledge. What you're doing is great, and hopefully eventually our future for our children, our grandchildren, will be a better place without all this synthetic pill popping.
Wow. Thank you very much, Alan. Yeah, I don't know if there's something else somebody wants to add on that one. I wanted to go to another point, which I think should be our last point. I want to skip one. I want to skip one, though. Let me just read it. This is the one I wanted to skip. Giving back to those who have changed our lives by volunteering information to us. This I mean, like people like Dr. Finelov. Sometimes you owe him something. Just thank you. Just tell him thank you. And sometimes in our way, African way of saying thank you, don't say thank you with bare hands like this. You put something. You should have something in your hands. Maybe like this. You must have something like this in your hands. So saying thank you could mean giving something, just sending him some little thing just to say thank you. We're not, but we're also not going to make it as if it's a must. No. Just like from people who are willing, people who have something to say, to tell him thank you. Plus, I when I was thinking about this point, the person who was really in my mind, not really Dr. Phil, because Dr. Phil had talked about consultation fee of 5,000. Was it $50 in Kenya shillings? It's 5,000. Yeah, 50 US dollars. Yeah, in Kenya shillings is about 5,000 and some hundreds. So for him, he was talking about that consultation fee. But the person I was really thinking about at this time was Satmaga. Satmaga changed our life with the interview. He talked to us some things that nobody else had talked to us before. Because for Satmagas, the way of fasting is not really the spiritual one. He's just like trying to do some things, and he's practicing and testing with himself and going. Started with 12, went to 13, 14, 15, 21, 27, 20, dry fasts, 40, up to 50. So when he was giving us that information, like giving you a leakage, giving a secret, I felt like, wow, we just owe this guy a thank you. So I'm thinking to sustain these kind of interviews in the future, to be having people who are going to be giving, to sustain them, so that when next time they want them, they come very easily. We have to create a way of telling them thank you. That's what I'm there. That's my take. I don't know what you think, because if it's not a good idea, we don't borrow it. You don't use it. What are your thoughts anyway? What are your thoughts?
I think this is a wonderful idea, because yes, usually their time is very precious, because they have a lot of things to do personally with their patients, and they give you, for example, 2-3 hours to interview. So I think it's a very good idea to share from our abundance and from our blessings to them. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So it means we'll only have to create a channel of doing it in an orderly way and with transparency. That's the point. Yeah. And the other thing about what else is here? 6, which is the last one. This other one we have already handled. Number 5, how medical fast has brought everyone together. I think we have talked about that. Regardless of religion, regardless of our race, regardless of fasting, especially the dry fast for health, has brought us all together. So we have to remain together. We don't want to part ways, and that's why we are going to bring our. Those are the ideas that are going to be bringing the differences. No, we just want to accommodate ourselves with the fasting lifestyle. If you're fasting for other reasons, let me say, for example, a person fasting for spiritual reasons, the pattern remains the same. The same way somebody wants to health fast is the same way, the same things you need, the same preparation you need, the same way to break. All these things are the same. So we just need to learn from each other. We don't need to impose our ideas of religion, impose our ideas of other things in society. We know we are people of faith. We know we have people of different religions, but we keep it just a family of fasting. So it just remains a family of fasting and respect each other's faith and religion. And I think that will make us live for long in this path and share the truth. Yeah. So the last point, which is to do with the sharing in print media, radio, those things like TV, those the traditional way of sharing information. Sometimes you can get a newspaper article, you write. If you have that opportunity, you can write. As for me, I've already written some books, by the way. I have books in Amazon, and up to now where I've reached with the information, I think I'm going to update them because I'm feeling like the information there is like 70, almost less than 70%. It's like 60% of what people need to know. So I need to make it upgrade it to 100% of what people need to know. There's some few information still missing. I don't know what people think about that. Maybe your ideas on this one.
Yeah, I think the internet has given us a very many opportunities to share. And so if you also think about forming a social media group or something, you can reach a lot of more people. For example, I saw your interview with Filonov because someone from our social media group, fasting group, linked your video into our group, so I could join and see what you're doing. So I think through social media you can reach a lot of people, and you can have a lot of impact. Also in some local places, for example in Bulgaria, members of our group go regularly to television, to radio, and speak about this topic. So everyone can do something locally. It's possible.
Sometimes at no cost at all. Sometimes at no cost at all. Just like for social media, if you just buy your bundles and your time, that is it. That is it. So we use what is available to communicate, to tell the people wherever they are, as we try to organize ourselves. Because the truth is, to sustain something like this, it needs to be institutionalized. As in, I mean, we must have some pattern, something that somebody, even after 40 years to come, can find these things, even in our records. That's why I was talking about even having a website, having anything that can keep this storage of information and also spreading it. We store and we spread. Yeah. So I think, thank you so much, Giovanna, for coming. Giovanna, I don't know if you have really done so well. Alan has been here. Alan was giving us his experiences, but you have really done a lot of contributions. So I think we have, on my side, I've exhausted the points we needed to do. And again, I'm really apologizing because we had to do it only 1 hour. We have gone 1 hour, 46 minutes. If somebody has something else, maybe we can finish with that, then we conclude our meeting today. And it's been wonderful for me. This has been one of the best meetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Alan, for answering our call. Alan, do you have any concluding remarks?
You're welcome, and thank you, everybody. Yeah, this has been one of a good experience too. I learned a lot. Yeah, thank you, Gargana, for all this information, all this advice. And yes, what you're doing is great. We'll beat the data, just like the 50-day dry fast. Nobody, right? Not a lot of people had that kind of data, but we have to be thankful for Dr. Filanov, for
Satmaga.
Satmaga,
Satmaga, yeah.
giving us this data, especially Dr. Filanov, free. He's giving us free, and then, but thanks to this data, we can help the world. And I think that's one of the best gifts that they could receive, is seeing the world change thanks to their data. And I think this was great. I think what you're doing is great. I wish the best for this, and I hope this continues, and I hope we continue learning, getting more data, and increasing the knowledge around the world and helping the world. And I want to thank you all again. Thank you very much.
And just as we conclude, Javila, I think we will have another time with you, maybe because of your history with fasting. We talked about 21 days, talked about 9 days dry. So sometime maybe you'll give us the detailed information. I think we are going to create a webinar just for you. Today it was Alan, together with our with our few agenda that we have incorporated. Yeah.
It's okay. Yes, I'm open to this and to share.
Thank you. But remind me, Ghana. That is how to call it.
It's Ghana.
Okay, Ghana. The way it's written. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.